So last night they were out without two of their top three cornerbacks.
Okay, yeah.
Batamosi and Jonathan Jones. And every time I looked up last night, Batamosi or Jonathan Jones had hands-on football. They're all over the field making plays. Batamosi was tied for the lead on the team with 7 tackles. What? So all of a sudden, the cogs, you know, it's like the sum of the parts is greater than the whole, right? So you look at what they're doing. This is Belichick all over again. I don't know how they do it, but it's the system on defense is better than the stars.
Right. Well, I think the thing is for when you get a guy, say like Gilmore, Skip, he's set in his ways. He plays coverage a certain style, and this is the way he likes to play.
Yeah.
When you get a guy that you can mold, so they're getting these guys that they can mold and they can fit. They don't have any bad habits, so they'll listen to what you say. But if you watch them the way they play, they understand where the leverage is and what I'm playing. When they play 22-man, which is two deep safeties, split, and everybody's playing across the board, we call it cover 5. So 3 plus 2 is 5. That's why you get the coverage cover 5. So I'm explaining it to people at home. 22-man. He understands. I have help over the top. I can be as physical as I need to be underneath because I know if you run by me, I got 2 safeties to cover everything. They know where the leverage is. So if you're trying to beat me to the inside, okay, I still got a safety that can come down and take you out. I'm going to play everything hard. That they understand that, and that's what you have to do, Skip. When you play coverages, you can't get so caught up, and it happened a lot when I was playing. I was a guy kind of like what Gronk, and people wanted to get interceptions against me so bad, Skip, because that was going to make I got to pick up John Elway throwing the ball to Shannon Sharpe. Well, if you got help to the post, why would you honor a post fake when the safety is in the hole? You have the corner. So when the best guy I've ever seen play this coverage was Corey Harris. He was in Baltimore with me. Skip, I couldn't beat him. I was like, dude, I went 2 steps to the post. He said, I don't care. He said, there's Rod in the hole. I know you. If you go to the hole, Rod got you. I'm worried about the 7 route. Skip, I could go 2 steps and you would see Corey. He'd be on the film. He would be running to the 7. He said, Shay, I know you coming out here. That's what you have to do. You have to play your responsibilities. You can't get caught up in who you're playing and trying to get a big play against him. Play your responsibilities and let the chips fall where they may.
So Stephon Gilmore has already proven to be a little too cool for this system. He's his own man. He's got $40 million guaranteed, which is a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And he's going to do on his island, he's going to be on Revis Island, except he's not Darrell Revis.
No, not even close.
And there's no communication. And what did Malcolm Butler say on NBC after the game? Oh, we communicated tonight. They had allowed an NFL record, 6 straight games of 300-plus yard passing. And last night they held Matt Ryan to 233?
Right.
Wow. With really 3 undrafted free agents out of college.
But you have to look at it. But you also have to look at it, Skip. And I know people are looking at this saying, well, they held Matt Ryan to 232, but they also gave up 5.5 yards a clip on the run. See, the Falcons' run game is very prominent because they have Freeman and Coleman. But what makes them dynamic is Freeman and Coleman's ability not only to run the football, but to catch the ball outside. They can put him in the slot. They line Coleman outside and have him run routes. So when you look at it, with the exception of Kansas City, nobody else has a running attack that they faced quite like what Atlanta has. So it's misleading to just look at Matt Ryan's stats and say he had 232 passing. They didn't have a whole lot of plays. So now you minimize the plays because the Patriots offense is on the field. But they're getting 5.5 yards a clip running the football. You just don't have enough opportunities to take full advantage of what you can do against the Patriots defense. Give the Patriots some credit. Tom Brady understood because when they scored that touchdown to make it 23-7, I think Julio Jones made that great catch over Malcolm Butler. There was still like 3.5, 4 minutes on the clock. You know the Patriots are going to run it. They line up in double tight, and the Falcons couldn't get the ball back. I know, and that's when you know you got something special. I used to look, when we get in 4-minute offense, when you get into a 4-minute offense, that's 4 minutes or less in the ball game, and you do not want the defense, the opposing team offense to get back on the field. When you can line up, Skip, and just run the ball, they know you're going to run it. And you say, here we come. what you gonna do?
Patriot offensive line was back last night.
And they couldn't do anything.
Nope. And I'm going to say it again. Since that Super Bowl debacle in Houston last February, I know it was foggy in Foxborough last night.
Was it fog or pyrotechnics or a combination?
I think it was just pure fog.
Well, you remember the '88 Philly-Chicago game.
I watched it.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but I watched it. But to me, Atlanta has basically played in a fog since that collapse in the Super Bowl, except for the Aaron Rodgers Sunday night game in Atlanta when Aaron made two shockingly uncharacteristic errors at the end of the first half and early in the second half. That was that ball game.
That led to points on both occasions.
It did. 14-point swing right there. Otherwise, you look at what Atlanta's done, and they just have lost their way. So they averaged a league high last year, 34 points a game. So far this year, 21.3. That's a shocking decline. And your former neighbor, Matt Ryan, the reigning MVP, has lost his way. And I'm going to say it again. He left most of his confidence, a large part of his confidence, on that Houston field in the second half of that Super Bowl. And I don't think he's recovered. I'm not sure his psyche will ever quite recover because, to me, Matt Ryan has always reminded me of a more talented Alex Smith in that they're both really nice guys. I've been around both of them, especially around Matt Ryan, had him on the show.
Yeah.
And they're underconfident. They have fragile confidence. And if it gets shattered, it really gets shattered. And Matt Ryan has lost some of his nerve and his verve in the pocket because last year he got hotter and hotter, more and more confident. Now, last night, he missed some throws in the red zone that could have tilted the game.
But Skip, if you look at what he accomplished in the Super Bowl, he had a quarterback rating of 144.1. He really made two mistakes. One of them was not his fault because Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman had gotten hurt or played before. Coleman would have been in there. I believe Coleman would have picked up the blitzing Hightower. Okay, and he took the sack. You can't take a sack when you're in field goal range. And those were the two plays that he had. Because if you look at it, Skip, he was almost flawless last year in the Super Bowl outside of those two mistakes. Now, this year, he's turning the ball. He kind of reverted back to the old Matt Ryan and turning the ball over. What's shocking to me is that 2 weeks ago, they had a 17-point lead against the Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins felt so confident that they still pounded Jay Ajayi. And he ran the ball for over 130 yards. This defense is built to play with a lead. They raced out to a big lead. They take the run element out of it. Now they can just pin their ears back. Vic Beasley, Claiborne, Jarrett. They can come get you.
But it's a smallish that relies mostly on speed, and you can bully them. You can bull elephant them with your offensive line.
And that's what. And if they have to sit in and they have to worry about being able to run, and they just can't. If they have to worry about you running the ball, and they just can't jump off the rock and try to go get your quarterback. Because they're so small, Skip, that's going to be a problem for them. But they're going to have to get back. If they think they're going to win a championship or get to a championship because of their defense, they're sadly mistaken. You know what? Even though Steve Sarkisian keeps failing upward, I'm willing to give it. This is not his system. Kyle Shanahan left the system here. He had to learn it. So he's still trying to find, okay, what do I do? But I tell you what you can't do, you can't let Julio Jones have 3 catches midway through the third quarter. You can't do that.
He'll be the fall guy for this. He's going to be the scapegoat. I won't be surprised if they let him go in the next couple of weeks.
Well, Richard Smith, who's the defensive coordinator, they let him go. Brian Cox, who's the D-line coach, they let him go. When they said, no one is to blame, but considering that you fired 2 defensive coaches immediately after the Super Bowl, lets me know that you were assigning blame to someone.
Somebody's got to be blamed for it. I mean, it's always a collection.
So last quick question. Are you ready to say New England is now the best team in the NFL?
No, I'm not ready to say that.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Who is it? Philly?
We'll find out.
Oh, okay.
We'll find out. I mean, you didn't say that when they lost to Carolina. They were the best team.
I just go by what I see on Sunday. I know what I saw last night.
What do you always say? You got to update your resume.
Yeah.
So okay, they lose next week. What are you gonna say? They're still the best team?
They're not going to lose next week.
But I know who will lose next week.
Oh, well, let's get to that.
Case of do.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.